Hi everybody, it's Mordecai from Queer Universe, and hopefully you're having a wonderful Tuesday. If not, hopefully it gets better, because I know it sounds cliche, but it will. And yeah, today I want to talk about representation, mostly in the media. Um, so if you watched my intro video, I did mention that I write fanfiction. I write fanfiction for 3 different fandoms, and I used to write for 4. I'm getting back into one of the fandoms. But I write for Steven Universe. I write for YouTube, mostly Sanders Sides, Thomas Sanders, and Fan, Dan and Phil. And the third, I don't know if many know about it, but it's Impractical Jokers. So I write for those 3 mainly. And of course, Steven Universe has like LGBT representation. Spoiler alert, if you don't know about Garnet, like she's comprised of Ruby and Sapphire, and they're lesbians, of course, and there's a lot of LGBT representation because Rebecca Sugar is a non-binary bisexual, and I love them so much. Like they filled my life with joy because of their show. Anyway, obviously in Steven Universe, like the LGBT representation is already there, but I do like writing about it, like amplifying it, I guess. Like for me, like Pearl and Rose Quartz, if you don't know about the reveal, I'm just gonna use that name. um, but I definitely ship them, or I ship Pearl Amethyst, Pearl and Amethyst, and I do that. I haven't really gotten into Lapidot, Lapis and Peridot, or Amidot, Amethyst and Peridot. I've kind of avoided it just because I know there was a lot of a controversy and a lot of drama in the fandom because of that, so I've kind of stayed away from it. I may write about it, who knows. And so for the latter 3, I'm gonna say 3 because there are 2 YouTube fandoms that I write for. I have made it a point to be mindful, I guess you could say, of different like identities. There's one fic that I'm still writing, and I kind of fell out of the Impractical Jokers fandom for a few months. But there is one that I've written. It's 7 chapters, 6 or 7 chapters I've written so far. I don't remember exactly. I know there are a lot of chapters. That might be from the fic I was reading, because I don't think there's 7. There's going to be. um, there's going to be a lot because there's just so much to explore in both. The fact that there are male to female trans characters, non-canon, of course, because like the 4 best friends, they're cis males, but in this fic, like I've had 2 of the male characters, they're male to female, and like just exploring like their transition, their coming out, just because like as a person who is female to male transgender, I know that like there are actually like more representation for us than there are male to female, and I really just want to expand on that. Like I know I'm not male to female, but I do want to advocate for those people, like to make sure that they feel represented and heard. Like I've done extensive research. I have male to female friends, and I asked a few of them, like, hey, is this correct? Is this offensive? If so, one of my close friends, like, she'll tell me, and she's really good about that. And then recently in the most updated chapter, there's a non-binary character, and I have like 3 non-binary friends in real life, and so like I want to really advocate for them, and I'm really passionate about advocating for non-binary people, even though I myself don't identify as non-binary. Like I go by they them pronouns sometimes if people are uncomfortable calling me he him, but of course that's not my identity. I just want to make sure that there are enough representation and enough like, voices out there for people who identify either as both or neither on the gender spectrum. But yeah. And in fan and the Thomas Sandersides. Recently, I did a Detroit Become Human fanfic based around the Sandersides, and I already made one of the characters non-binary, just because I know there are canon non-binary people in Thomas Sanders' community. If you watch him, Joan and Talon, his best friends, are non-binary, and I love them to death and want to represent them, but I also want to make sure that there are other characters that they could be represented as cis people, but I want them to either be trans or non-binary, just because I myself would prefer there be queer or trans people in a story that I'm reading or writing. I usually, I've only ever really written gay or homosexual, lesbian relationships in my fics. But of course, with the non-binary and trans... Sorry, my dog is shaking. Stop! Sorry. Anyway, I've written for trans and non-binary people. There are heterosexual couplings and other couplings. And for me personally, since I identify as aromantic asexual, and I tell people I'm gay to make it simpler. I definitely want there to be different relationships, but at the same time, I'm just I don't want to write a heterosexual couple. Nothing against heterosexuals. I'm just I'm always around homosexuals or queer people, and I'm just I don't know how to write straight people anymore. So, hopefully that doesn't come across as offensive if we have any straight or hetero romantic or cis people watching. So sorry. But in fan, I haven't really explored transgender or non-binary characters. Excuse me. Just because I haven't really had a lot of ideas. I do in my notebook, I keep a little notebook that I have ideas in. But I don't really know how to explore that. I do, but at the same time, I don't have an idea that would be specific to them. I might. There's one I came up with the other day for Halloween. And that could be something. I don't know. I would love to write them, as trans or non-binary or something, because I know, in real life, Dan and Phil's relationship, they're best friends and support each other, and I feel that would definitely help in a situation where one of them is not cis. So, yeah, I definitely try to advocate for other people. I'm not trying to, be a spokesperson or anything, but I definitely, want there to be more, media representation. Because I know Rebecca Sugar is doing what she can, or what they can. It's easy to slip, but yeah. They're doing what they can to get queer representation out there and LGBT representation. But of course, they're not the only person who can do that, and they shouldn't be the only person who's doing that. More people should be doing it. And yeah, I'm hopefully doing that in my writings. And I'm always open to suggestions. Sorry, tongue-tied. I'm always open to suggestions. If you have any queer LGBT headcanons or requests or anything, I definitely write that. I don't do it for money. I would love to do it for money. But yeah, I can link to my archive of our own account. I believe I did in the last video. But yeah, if you would love to, read some LGBT works done by a local, I say local, if you're in the States, a local LGBT person, then you should definitely check it out. I'm not trying to promo myself, but at the same time, kind of am. I could definitely use some more viewers, who are LGBT and understand the spectrum of, gender and sexual identity. So yeah, it definitely meant a lot to me. And hopefully that makes sense. And hopefully, like, I'm not trying to, like, erase anyone else's voice, if they're, like, actually male to female or non-binary, because, like I said, I don't identify as either of those. But I have so many friends who are, and I want to, like, be mindful of them and help them, like, be heard, at least. So hopefully that's not how people take it. I just love writing about people who aren't straight and who aren't cisgender, just because growing up, like, I didn't have a lot of that in TV shows or in books. I used to read a lot, but, college has kind of, like, killed my wanting to read anything except fan fiction. So I'm just really passionate about writing it and reading it. So yeah. Any suggestions I would definitely love to work with. So yeah, post them in the comments below. And I will see you all next week.